JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 17th of August 2020. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's afternoon session where we're gonna have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can also subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos once it loads up here. So there we go. So always, like I said, check us out here. You can always click on subscribe, but also quick mentioning of our JFD website here at jfdbank.com, and specifically the research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com. As I said, click on the research tab right there on the top. Now, so jumping into the charts, so let me just quickly update this one very quickly. So there we go. So the German DAX is slowly trying to climb back up here. The most important is that the index remains above this 12,913 territory. I talked about this barrier, this level. That's the highest point of June, and this morning I was saying that if the index remains above this barrier, then there's a good chance we could see this one reversing to the upside here. So for now, everything's kind of working out nicely. So we are seeing this nice attempt to climb back up. For those who are more on the cautious side, you could keep an eye on the high of last week, which is, and let me probably recycle one of these lines here. It'll be easier. So the high of last week was roughly around the 13,100 zone. So if you're more on the cautious side, you could wait for a push above that, because such a break would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and it may open the door towards the highest point of July near the 13,314 level. In terms of the downside, we need to see a drop below this 12,913 territory first, and ideally a drop below the 12,773 zone here, which, as you can see, previously acted as a very nice area of support, then resistance, and if this time, if it breaks, the price could be placed below the 21-day EMA here, shown as the yellow line. So again, this could increase the chances of a possible move a little bit lower here. However, the downside is slightly off the table right now. We are leaning a little bit more to the upside. Jumping into NASDAQ 100, and here, as you can see, last week the index managed to remain in the slightly in the positive territory. Let me just click on this one. So although the weekly candle kind of formed a doji here, still it's not really a straightforward doji here for now. The main focus will be on this upside support line taken from the low of the 23rd of March, and the fact that the cash index right now is moving higher, and it is above Friday's close, so it's currently trading at around 11,234 mark. It's still below the all-time high, which is around 11,282. So basically we'll have a nice opening gap here to the upside, somewhere around here, and the big question, can it actually push further north? Can it actually overcome this barrier? Can it overcome this 11,282 zone? If it can, well, I mean, first of all, that confirms a new all-time high and also confirms a higher high. So and kind of this way, the sky's the limit for this index, and we could push further north. In terms of the downside, previously I talked about this 10,737 territory, but given that we've shifted a little bit more to the right, to be honest, now we can look at this 10,855 level marked by the low of last week here, and we could start considering lower areas from a break of that zone. So a break of this 10,855 level. If we do see a drop below this would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and yep, it may open the door towards this key area of support, this highlighted area roughly between the 10,307 and the 10,371 levels. So keep your eyes on those. But for now, we're leaning a little bit more to the upside, especially if it breaks this all-time high at 11,282 zone. Silver is making its way higher. So actually, let me just start fresh here. Let me just remove all the drawings, and let me just have like I said, a fresh start. Now, first of all, of course, overall the commodity is still trading above this upside support line taken from the low of the 18th of March. So that's a good thing. It kind of indicates that the commodity does want to continue moving higher. However, after a sharp decline that we had last week, we will be very careful, because at the same time you can see that the commodity is kind of has distanced itself from this upside support line. So in a way, some would say that maybe it's ready to go for a bit of a larger correction. Now what we're going to do here, we'll try to play it safe. We'll keep an eye on the high of last week's Thursday and Fridays, and these highs here of Thursday and Friday are this high of the Thursday and Friday is near 27.73 mark. So if a nice good push above this level may open the door towards back to this year's current high near the 29.86 level, but again, for that we need to see a break of this 27.73 level first. If it struggles to do so, and if it starts drifting back down, keep your eyes on the 21-day EMA, because if that does provide a bit of support here, then yep, this is where the holdup might occur and we could see another push higher. However, if the precious metal, if silver starts moving below that 21-day EMA and drops somewhere below this 24.40 level, now this is where we will consider maybe a bit of a larger correction here to the downside, at least towards this upside support line taken from the low of the 18th of March. So keep your eyes on this one. So basically, long story short, we need to see a break of the 27.73 territory in order to aim for slightly higher levels, but we need to see a drop below the 24.40 zone here in order to consider a larger correction to the downside. So keep your eyes on that, guys. Now Ripple is popping nicely to the upside, and this is what I talked about last week, guys. So the crypto was forming a potential bullish flag, but what I was saying, that don't jump into it yet until we get that break of the upper side of this channel, of this falling channel, or in other words, the bullish flag pattern. So you can see we had a break here, so that's wonderful. If you manage to get it somewhere around here, that's great. You can see that this is pushing now higher. However, given that it had already made that move, of course we will continue aiming for some higher levels, but we'll be very careful near the current highest point of August, near the 0.3262 level, and if that continues, let's say for example, to provide resistance, then we may see a correction back down. So that's why we'll remain careful here near this 0.3262 level. But if that gets broken, now this would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and yep, the next target for us is the highest point of this year, near the 0.3464 level. So keep your eyes on that one. In terms of the downside, we would need to see now a drop below this 21-day EMA in order to, let's say, consider a bit of a decline here, a larger correction towards this upside support line taken from the low of the 5th of July, guys. So keep your eyes on that one. Now jumping into a few pairs, AUDNZD. I talked about this pair last week, and look at this beautiful move. So we had a nice push above this barrier. First of all, this 1.0880 zone. I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this one. If we get a nice daily close above it, which we had, this could open the door towards higher levels, which it did. So we had a nice test of this 1.0921 zone. And my next target was the 1.0994 level, which is the highest point of October of 2018. And you can see the pair reached that level, but even overshot it and moved above that psychological 110 zone, and is now testing the area around the 1.1020. Of course, the most interesting thing is that it's testing that area, which is the high of, let me just grab this little peak right there. So that's the high of the 5th of September of 2018, guys. So that's where we're right now. We are just bang on that level, near the 1.1020. So let's see if the bulls have enough steam to kind of keep the daily candle above that area, above that barrier. If they can, then of course we will continue aiming for some higher levels. The next little obstacle here for us could be this this level right here, the high of the let me just quickly double check it, the high of the 20th of August of 2018, and that's roughly around the 1.1066 level. So keep your eyes on that one, guys, and it could be quite interesting. But if it closes somewhere back below the it drops and closes the daily candle below the 1.0990 territory, now we may get a bit of a correction here to the downside. So keep your eyes on this, guys. For now, everything is looking quite positive. But again, keep your eyes on some of these levels. First of all, keep your eyes on this 1.1020 zone. US dollar against the Swiss franc, and this morning basically the pair is kind of testing already this 0.9073 territory. I talked about this level previously because basically the pair right now is stuck in a range. However, if the range here, if the lower side of this range gets broken and we see a daily candle closing below this, or should I say staying below this, then yep, this increases the chances of a possible further move south. For now, we only got a break here. The daily candle got pushed back above this barrier. So in other words, for now we wait. And if we do get that daily close below that area, then yes, we could start aiming for some lower levels right here. As you can see, there's a bunch of good levels to watch out for. Of course, the psychological 0.90 level is that the first one to watch, but below that we do have that 0.8837 zone, and yep, we'll take it from there, guys. But for now, the most important is to see if we can actually get this daily candle remaining below the 0.9073 territory right here. If we can see that, then yes, we will aim for lower areas. If we cannot, then well, probably the pair is not ready to exit the range, and we could see this one rebounding and pushing back up here towards the upper bound of this range. So keep your eyes on this one. Very interesting developments here, and let's see if we can squeeze something out of it. Euro Aussie. So I haven't looked at this one for quite a while. You can see that my arrow has shifted here. So basically, let me just zoom in here, and yep, so this idea worked out, as you can see. Should I say almost worked out, because the pair is getting a hold up near the 100-day EMA, which coincides with the 200-day EMA. So now what we can do here is, first of all, we're gonna wait. And we'll stay somewhat bullish, but we need to see that good strong move above that 100-day EMA and the 200-day EMA before aiming for some higher levels. So we can draw this short-term upside support line taken from the low, the 22nd of July, and in a way, as long as it stays above this upside line and the 21-day EMA, there is a good potential for this one to move higher. So, and for now, for now, like I said, it's a game. It probably is going to be more of a waiting game. So don't rush into this, because what we don't want to see here is, for example, this upside line getting broken and the rate then falling back below the 1.6340 zone. If it does that, then, well, I mean, we will consider a bit of a larger decline here, maybe even going back towards the 1.6086 level or somewhere around here. But again, for now, the rate is still above this upside line. It still has a chance to rebound, but for those who are more on the cautious side, wait for a push above the 1.6560 zone here, or even better, the 1.6586, and then consider a possible move higher here, initially towards the 1.6773, or even above that. And finally, Euro USD. So this morning and last week, I was telling you guys to keep an eye on this one, because very interesting developments here. Because yes, the pair is moving within a small range from the short-term perspective. Overall, as you can see, it's still trading above this upside line taken from the low of the 14th of May. But from the short-term perspective, it has rebounded from this lower side of the range where it's currently sitting at from the beginning of the month. Yep, it's moving towards the upper bound of the range, which is around the 1.190910 level, approximately around there. We can actually round it up towards the 1.1910. It's kind of moving towards that in that direction right now. However, what I was saying this morning and last week, that be very careful, because if it fails to get to this level, to this upper side of the range, and starts reversing earlier, then we could be getting ourselves somewhat of a possible head and shoulders pattern. But again, that's too early to talk about that. First, in order to consider that idea, we would need to see a rejection somewhere around here below this upper bound of the range, and then yes, a drop of the below this neckline here, which is around the 1.1725 zone, and then yes, like I said, we could consider this idea being a nice head and shoulders pattern. At the same time, a drop below the 1.1725 level would also kind of drop, or should I say, place the rate below the 21-day EMA, which some might see as a bearish indication. We're not going to drag, in that scenario, we're not going to drag this pair way too much to the downside, because as I said before, we do have this upside support line taken from the low of the 14th of May, which in a way could provide some decent support. So guys, I really hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for watching and listening. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate your time. If you want to catch my videos tomorrow, as always, my Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. But for now, guys, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.